Well, hello. Today is Saturday, December 12th. We do have birthdays, but first off, I have to apologize that I missed a birthday on Thursday. I have a calendar on my phone that's supposed to send things over to the next year, to year to year, and for some reason, one of the birthdays didn't come across, and I looked back and I didn't have it yearly. So, with humble apologies to Peggy Rossiter, because Peggy's birthday was on Thursday. And you think I would have remembered for a Rossiter because that was the street I grew up on. I grew up on a street named Rosemary until I was 10 years old, and then I lived on Rossiter until I was 20. So I could have forgot you, Peggy. I'm so sorry. But you still get a song. I'm not even going to say belated birthday, although I should. But I'm just going to sing you happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Peggy. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And it's also Katrina Young's birthday. Today is Katrina's actual birthday, according to my calendar. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Katrina. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Pat Elt's birthday. Pat, and I got your Christmas card yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pat. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Also, a new one. This is the first this year, I think. Patrick Downey. Patrick gets a song. My brother's name was Patrick. Patrick Dennis was his name. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patrick. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And it's also Katrina Catanzo. Okay. Sorry, Katrina. I'm going to get this right. I think I got it right last year. Catanzaro. Catazandro. Catazaro. I'm really messing it up, Katrina, aren't I? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Katrina. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, at least I got your first name right, I hope. But anyway, hope you all have a great birthday today. I was really busy today. Well, I didn't walk because it was a torrential pouring rain this morning when I woke up. It actually woke me up because it was hitting the window like psh, psh, psh. So I thought, what is that noise? It was better because a little bit farther north than me, I think they're going to need like 7 or 8 inches of snow today. I'll take the rain right now. Although I like snow for Christmas, but I just wasn't ready for snow. Just not yet. So I got up, I weighed myself, I lost 1.2. I told you I was hoping for, did I lose 1.2? Yeah, 1.2. I was hoping for 1.8. I'll take the 1.2. I will gladly take the 1.2. And then stayed on track today. For breakfast, I had some shredded wheat and some milk. And then for lunch, what did I have for lunch? I gotta think. It was just not so long ago for lunch. Oh, I know. I had some of my fruit and a grapefruit and a banana. I wasn't really that hungry. So, yeah, because the shredded wheat kind of filled me up. And then for dinner, we did get pizza. I had one slice of pizza. So I stayed on track. I know that you have to, especially this time of year, you have to get your priorities straight. And my priority right now is me, and I want to lose a pound. And I know that I'm going to do it. I really do. Like I said, I need to keep busy because I think that when I keep busy, I can put myself prioritize my meals and things like that because like today I was wrapping gifts and I was so annoyed. I went to the dollar store because I was being cheapy this year and I bought some Scotch tape at the dollar store. I will never buy Scotch tape at the dollar store again. I was going along pretty well and then all of a sudden as you're pulling it, it just kind of like goes thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner until it breaks off and then there's nothing left. But you still got a whole roll of tape. And I have zero patience. So I brought it to Jim and he fixed it. And what annoyed me is I know that I had just bought like 3 rolls of tape and I couldn't find any. And it was just a last minute purchase when I went to the dollar store. I just picked up some tape because it was by the door. And then it lasted for maybe 2 more presents, and then it did it again. And I was like, so I just threw it away. And then went on a treasure hunt looking for my Scotch tape. And I did find it, but just enough to finish up a little bit of packages to get done. And so then when we went to pick up the pizza, I stopped at CVS, and luckily there was no one in there, because I don't like going in the stores. It just bothers me. But I needed the Scotch tape, so I went in and I bought 3 rolls of Scotch tape. And then, wouldn't you know, as soon as I got home, I was looking in my drawer here for something in my desk. I found the 2 rolls of tape I had before. So don't even think that I need Scotch. You need to borrow some Scotch tape? Give me a call. I've got Scotch tape now. But I was wrapping my presents and stuff like that, and I just realized that if I'm going to really change my life, which I think the weight loss I've lost, because I've lost 94.4 pounds now. So I think that that really has changed my life. It really has changed it for the better. But I'm thinking if I lose a little bit more, it'll change it even more. And I'm making smarter choices. I'm really thinking about things before I decide to eat them. And I'm remembering that just because it's a weekend, it's the same as any other day of the week. I just got to remember that. And I want to lose 1 pound a week. I was happy with the 1.2 because that's my goal, is 1 pound, although I wanted a 1.8 so I could have lost the 3.6 altogether that I gained 2 weeks ago. But I'll take it. I'm just 0.6 away. Actually, I'm 0.8 away. I thought I only had to lose the 3.6 to get to where I was at for my greatest loss. But no, I need to lose 0.8, which is only another 0.2 of a pound, which I'll hit it when I lose my pound next week. You notice I said when. I didn't say if. I said when, because I am going to hit my loss next week. I'm going to lose another pound. And, you know, slowly, I'll get there. I'm still holding out hope for the end of the year. I'll be honest, I'm holding out hope, but I think I'll do it. I really do think I'll do it. But, well, I got just a couple stories. They're not really Christmas related, but they're a couple of stories. The one story was Patrick Downey. You kind of remind me of it because I don't know if you guys remember the little bear for the Downey fabric softener. Jimmy had a stuffed animal, stuffed teddy bear. They look just like the Downey bear. And every time we see the commercial now, he says, "Oh, there's Tibby." Why he named him Tibby, I have no idea, but he was Tibby. Tibby went everywhere with Jimmy, everywhere. And we had gone out the night before and brought Jimmy. And we must have been looking at lights or something. I got to think because it was in the winter. So maybe it was around Christmas time. Yeah, it had to have been. We're looking at Christmas lights. Duh, Sandy, whatever. But, so we were looking at the Christmas lights, and he was loving it, and he brought Tibby, and he's showing Tibby all the lights and that. And then obviously he fell asleep in the car, because he always did. And when we got home, we forgot and left Tibby in the car. And so he went to bed, and went right to sleep without Tibby, which is unusual, because usually he has to have Tibby with him. And this was one of our first cars. It was a red Nova Super Sport. It was a beautiful car. Although when we ordered it, we thought it was a Super Sport, and when we went to pick it up, it was just a red car. And I said, "It's supposed to have, you know, like the racing decals on the side." And he says, "Oh, we can, you know, they brought the wrong car." Because back then you ordered the car and then you waited for it to be delivered. It wasn't like you go in the lot and you pick out a car. You had to go in the office and order the car and put everything on it you wanted, and you ordered it, and you waited like 6 weeks before it came in. But anyway, does anybody remember that? The only way you could walk on a lot and buy a car is if it was a used car. It wasn't a pre-owned car. It was a used car. I like the way they changed up the terminology and called it a pre-owned car now. But it was a used car. But we ordered a brand new car. And I said, "Well, that's not the car we ordered." And he says, "Well, you know, if you want to leave it and come back later today, we'll put the stripings on and all of that." Because I guess it's just decals. It wasn't even painted on. So we said, okay. So then we came back that night, and I know I'm drifting. That's what I do. So when we came back that night to pick up the car, Jim, like I said, Jim was a heavy smoker. No car seats back then. Jimmy just sat on my lap. So we get in the car and we sit down, and Jim goes to push the lighter in to light up his cigarette. There's no lighter. That was a special feature that you had to order. So we went back in and we said, "You know, we're not really complaining, but we didn't get a lighter." And he says, "Well, you got to order that." So he said, oh. So we ordered the lighter, and he said it would be in a couple days, and then they had to punch the hole in for the lighter and the whole bit. So anyway, we went and we drove around, had a good time. But anyway, the night we were driving around, and the next morning, Jim got up and went to work, not even realizing that Tibby was still in the car. And I guess he had tossed Tibby into the back seat or something. But he was sitting at a light. We've never had very much good luck. We've not had very good luck with cars. We really haven't. But we had the car probably maybe a year, maybe 2 at the most. And he was sitting at the light, and the guy behind him didn't want to stop for the light. Crashed right into Jim and just threw him into the intersection where another car hit him over there. The car was demolished. It's absolutely totaled. Jim was fine. He didn't have not a scratch on him. He was like, for the grace of God, he was fine. He didn't get hurt. So he got all of his tools and stuff out of the car, and my brother went over to pick him up because we only had the one car, and he just didn't go to work that day. And then when Jimmy got up, he was looking for Tibby, and we couldn't find Tibby anywhere. And then we realized that Tibby was left in the car. So my sister drove me over to the junkyard, or the tow lot, or wherever they brought it, to get the car, and Tibby was decapitated. His head was in the front seat and his body was in the back seat. And I didn't want Jimmy to see Tibby like that. And so it was just, we just told him, I don't know, we'll have to see where Tibby went. I think he went on an adventure. So for Christmas we got him another one, and you can't replace. You can't, you just can't. We tried. And he even said, this is not Tibby. And I go, this is Tibby's brother. He never took to that one. He never did. And it wasn't until years later, after a while he forgot about Tibby, but it was like a while before he forgot about Tibby. But to this day, whenever we see the Downy commercial, he says, there's Tibby. He went on to fame and fortune. Because when we saw the commercials back then, we always would say, oh, there's Tibby, there's Tibby. And he'd get so excited because his bear was like a big celebrity on TV. And even to this day, he'll always say, there's Tibby. He went on to better things. So. But then my other story was, I should probably save them because I'm thinking I'm running out of stories, and I got 13 more stories to come up with. But like I said, we're not the least bit lucky with cars. I told you the other day about the car. I think I told you. I'll have to look and see in my past videos about the car that was stolen. Yeah, I think I did. That the car was stolen right out of the driveway. I waved to the guy. He drove off with the car, and then I realized he was stealing the car. Called the police. They found the car. It was completely totaled, and I think I told this, didn't I? It was completely totaled, and they said they'd fix it, so they fixed it. And then the guy at the bump shop called me and told me, your car is ready. And so it was like, I called my mother, who lived 2 blocks over on Rossiter, because I lived, Peggy, even though I got married and moved off of Rossiter, I was living on Roxbury, which was 2 blocks over. So my mother came and picked me up right away. We went to the bump shop, signed the papers. He says, oh, your car's out on 8 Mile Road, like the Eminem song. And I went out there. I come back in, my car's not out there. He said, well, yeah, your car's out there. I go, no, it's not. He says, yeah, your car's out there, your keys are in the visor. I said, well, somebody found the keys in the visor and drove off with my car. All right, let's go out and find your car. You know what? Somebody stole your car. Duh, that's what I've been trying to tell you. So they found that car, they found it too, and it was completely stripped. I still think to this day that it was an inside job at the pump shop, that they knew that it was all brand new things, because the car was only like 4 months old, if that, 4 months old. And they found the car completely stripped. They're not going to fix it anymore. And I had obviously still owed on it, and they weren't offering me what I owed, and they were like $500 short on what I wanted. And we argued for a month. I just got back and forth, and I said, I am not settling until you at least pay the car off. We're not going to pay the car off. And we just went back and forth and back and forth. And then finally, no, they were only going to give me $1,000 less. That was it. It was $1,000 less than what I owed. And I still owed $1,000. And I thought, I don't have $1,000 to pay on the loan of this car and then have money for a down payment on another car. That's the best we're going to do. We went almost a whole month because we had at that point a second car. And finally at the end of the month, the guy called back. He says, well, the best we're going to do is $500 less than what you owe. And I said, okay, fine, I'll take it. And he says, oh, okay. So we'll send you the check out. And I go, Okay, that sounds good. And then where do I mail the title in 3 years? Because back then you got 3-year loans. And he says, well, what do you mean in 3 years? And I said, well, I don't have to pay the car off. I'll take the money because you're going to pay it to the loan company. I'll just pay that on the loan, and then I'll just owe the last $500, and I'll pay it the last 3 months of the loan. And he says, well, the car does me no good without the title. And I says, and the money you're giving me gives me no money. That doesn't give me any good unless you pay the car off. Let me get back to you. So he got back to me. They paid off the car. So we got another car. And then probably a year later, Jim was working at a secured location at, actually he was working at the Detroit Free Press. They were doing some sprinkler, because Jim was a sprinkler fitter for fire protection. And they were putting the fire protection in, and they had a secured lot where you had to go out through a secured, with a guard. And he would pay for the parking, but then they would reimburse him on his paycheck. And so he worked all day, and Jim always put the ticket in the visor. And he came out from work the one day, and he went to get into his car, and there was no car. No car. What they did, which we found out later, because they did find the car, stripped, it was whoever stole the car. It was like a thing, because that particular parking lot was losing a lot, and they had security cameras, and so they could see that somebody drove off with it. They took the ticket out of the visor, paid for the parking, and just drove off. So, cars. I have more car stories. I'm telling you, Jim and I, we're not very fortunate with cars. I'm just not. I'll tell you more because there's more. There are more. But other than that, remember, prioritize your life. Prioritize what you want to do. And always remember that you don't want to find an excuse. You want to find a way around whatever is tempting you at that point. If it's a distraction of some kind, just do it, because it'll just make you feel better in the long run. Okay, that's going to do it for tonight. I will talk to you guys in the morning, and as always, 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 stay safe.